Pune, also known as the Queen of the Deccan, has a growing population of about 4 million people. Just 35 kilometers from the bustling metropolitan city lies a very unique habitat. A mosaic of savanna grasslands. Grasslands at first appear dead and devoid of any life. But when one looks closer, this landscape is teeming with wildlife. Despite the lack of any kind of protection, many species have found a way to adapt in these regions. And of these lives an elusive species, the striped hyena. The rugged and rocky Deccan Plateau is the perfect habitat for this lesser-known carnivore.
For last decade, we've been tracking movements of large carnivores around Pune city. Recently, we formed an NGO called as Grasslands Trust, and with that, we intend to do a lot of community conservation.
Out on his usual survey, Mihir Godbole has been exploring the areas around Saswad, tracking the wildlife activities here. The striped hyenas have now caught his attention.
So for last 5-6 years, the population trend of hyenas has been constant. They're not increasing, but the population is not going down as well.
These lesser-known species lose out to more attractive and widely known carnivores of the country.
The striped hyena is a very adaptable animal. It can live in fully protected areas, being part of a sort of natural ecosystem, living in highly human-dominated landscapes, including on the edges of cities.
The striped hyena has the largest distribution amongst any other hyena species. Their range stretches from East Africa to Central Asia in the north, through the Mediterranean Peninsula and into India in the east. Even though you can find these lesser-known species across most of the Indian subcontinent, they still remain one of the least studied mammals.
We have absolutely no clue about how many hyenas there are in India. Although the IUCN lists the hyena as being near threatened because the global population is thought to be less than 10,000 individuals.
These dog-like species live in varied habitats. They are known for their infamous physical characteristics and help in maintaining a healthy and disease-free ecosystem. They've also been frequently vilified and misunderstood in many societies and are frequently regarded as vermin.
I don't think hyenas are villainous creatures. In fact, they're very social and caring animals. When we see hyenas in documentaries, most of the times spotted hyenas are shown from Africa, where they are in aggressive competition with lions and many other predators. But in case of striped hyenas, they are very timid and shy creatures.
Hyenas have an incredible digestive system. Things that no other animal will eat is easily digested by hyenas. The expansion of poultry farms across India and the poor disposal of poultry waste, hyenas are becoming heavily dependent on this easily available resource.
Since a hyena's stomach can process and digest decaying meat and hard, dry bones, they help in controlling the spread of diseases and keep the surroundings clean of rotting carcasses. By doing this, they are providing a good ecosystem service. Of late, These animals have been suffering at the hands of free-ranging dogs that monopolize carcasses of livestock dumped on the fringes of village areas. These dogs are an emerging and significant threat to wildlife surviving outside protected areas, and also bring the threat of spreading rabies.
They are both food for the hyenas, but they are also competition for them. So a pack of dogs will easily chase away a hyena from a carcass. And if dogs found a hyena den, they could certainly kill the pups as well.
Hyenas rarely venture out during the day. They prefer to forage alone or in pairs under the cover of darkness. In the day, they use their dens or bush thickets to hide themselves from the sun and other predators.
One thing that seems to be a common factor wherever they occur is that they need denning areas, safe denning areas. You see that females use a den for giving birth to their pups, and these dens can sometimes be used for a very long period of time. And this is also what puts them at danger, because sometimes local shepherds might come and block the den entrances, and therefore then these areas are no longer used by the hyenas.
These nocturnal species face an uncertain future. They are losing their habitats at a fast pace. There is a nationwide issue of grasslands being considered as wastelands legally and are rarely protected for biodiversity. And because of their perception as wastelands, villagers have started using the grassland for agriculture without realizing that over-irrigation could change the habitat entirely, threatening the hyena's existence in the Deccan grasslands.
Grasslands are not at all wastelands. In fact, they play a very crucial role in the water security. They are our clean sources of water at the end of the day, and they also act as litmus paper for absorbing carbon dioxide. They are as important as forests in terms of giving us clean air and water.
So, these species have been thriving in these places or surviving in these places for hundreds of years. And by actively promoting the conversion of grasslands to other uses, that we've converted, a grassland or something like that into a desert, into a degraded land or a wasteland or solar farm, and then nothing can grow underneath that. There's no wildlife value to that left to those areas. Plus, taking over that much land, can destroy habitat for a whole range of species. When the habitat is gone, so are the species, and that's the crisis that these species are facing in terms of their conservation status in India currently.
It is extremely important to have local stakeholders in conservation work, right from farmers to shepherds to even hunting communities like Pardhis, who have extreme knowledge about their habitat, about their habits, about how to track them.
The Dhangars and the Pardhis are the local shepherds in these regions, and their sustainable and traditional occupations make room for the wildlife around them. In a way, this is a blueprint for coexistence between human and animal.
See, most species in India actually quite poorly studied. We need to rethink our conservation philosophy and our model. We already know how to live with animals. We just need to embed that more deeply into the conservation thinking.
There is an imminent need to change the narrative of savanna grasslands as wastelands, and that it serves as an important habitat to many species. The focus of preserving ecosystems need to move on from forests alone. We need dedicated policies for the preservation of such areas too. And if a little more attention were to be given to their homes, there is potential to make this place a safe and secure haven for some of the most extraordinary creatures found here.
We've barely scratched the surface when it comes to biodiversity science in India, and the world is waiting for India to discover all that resides within it.